Hello and welcome back to another installment of Poke Fodder, where I discuss geolocation and AR style mobile games. In today's video, we are talking about Jurassic World Alive. More specifically, we have patch notes for version 2.7. Yes, it's true. It's true. We have another update on the horizon for Jurassic World Alive. This is going to be version 2.7. Typically, these releases come out on Tuesdays. I'm not expecting anything different for this particular update, but we have patch notes. So let's discuss what is going to be new and what is going to be changed with this newest update. The first thing we're going to talk about is a new addition, not the band new edition, but a new addition to 2.7, and those are going to be called flocks. Flocks are tiny creatures that have made their way into Jurassic World Alive. They are groups of 3 creatures who work as one in battle. Each flock counts as one member of your team. These flock creatures have some special attributes that make them valuable in battle. The first attribute is going to be called Absorb. With Absorb, flocks can withstand powerful attacks and keep fighting, only losing one flock member at a time. But watch out for group attacks. These can take out the entire flock at once. So what that means is your health bar is going to be divided up into 3 equal sections. We'll just say that you have 3,000 HP. Each block will represent a different flock member and will be 1,000 HP. Now, say you're in battle against a Mortem Rex and you know your opponent is going to use a rampage that's going to hit for like 30,000 of damage. You can bring in a flock. The most that you're going to be able to lose is 1,000 HP, which is going to knock out one of your flock members, but you still have 2 more and 2,000 HP, no matter how big that attack coming in is. The caveat to this is group attacks. You know where it says on the different creatures, it says who they target or what they target. If it says all, then if, say, like Gemini Titan, which has a group attack, or even Thorodolosaur that has a group attack, if the damage is more than 3,000 and they use a group attack, then you're going to lose all 3 of your flock members in one fell swoop. Moving on to the next attribute, we have Rally. With Rally, flocks can call a new member into the fray after one is defeated. But remember, regular healing abilities cannot trigger a Rally. That is exactly what it sounds like it is. If you're using a flock that has a Rally move, you're going to revive one of your creatures up off the ground to battle again. Now, what can end up happening is you revive it, your opponent goes and then knocks you back down. But again, we'll just use the 3 1,000 health bars. Use a Rally attack. You're at 2,000 health, so you only have 2 of your flock creatures. You use that Rally attack, you now have 3 creatures, so you have 3,000 health. That Mortem Rex chomps you, and it does like 6,000 damage. It's actually only going to do the 1,000 damage, and you're back down to 2 flock creatures. There are going to be 5 creatures added to 2.7 that are flock creatures. That's going to be Dodo, Compsognathus Gen 2, Dodosevia, and it's the last one there. Compsskoolasaurus. Yeah, that's the last one. Now that we know what flocks are, let's look at the new creatures that are going to be introduced in 2.7. The first creature we have is Compsognathus, Nathius Gen 2, which is going to be a rare creature. This creature is going to be a genetic variant of an epic Compsognathus. While not quite as fast, this flock creature's many alert abilities make it a supportive member of your team. It is a cunning hit and run expert. Use Nathius Gen 2's swap prevention to pin opponents and nullifying attacks to break them down. This creature does have the absorb ability, and its moves are going to be the Alert Swarm, which is a passive move, the Alert the Flock, which is also a passive move, Courageous Alert, Hop and Mock, and Impact and Run. The next new creature up is going to be a fan favorite, I can already tell, and that is Bumpy from the Camp Cretaceous television program on Netflix. Bumpy is going to be an epic creature that is a resilient swap-in tank. Swap to Bumpy in battle and use their swap-in stun, group taunts, and shields to defend your team from high damage creatures. The moves are going to be Stunning Alert, which is a passive move, Superior Vulnerability, Instant Invincibility Taunt, and Group Taunting Shields Impact. Next up, we have the epic creature Dodo. The dodo is a large flightless bird that didn't go extinct until it was exterminated by humans in the 1960s. But the dodo is far from helpless. This flock creature packs a powerful punch. The dodo is a cunning reinforcer. I'm not sure if we've had a reinforcer before. Use the dodo's protective ability to reduce your opponent's damage, then hit hard with a sacrificial alert decoy if the flock has enough HP to survive it. The dodo has the absorb passive move. It also has for its attacks, flightless strike, protective alert, and alert decoy. Next up, we have another epic. It is going to be the Compsognathus. Each member of Compsognathus's flock might be small, but they're still dangerous. Some missing members of Peter Ludlow's expedition on Isla Sorna in Jurassic Park Lost World are suspected victims of compy swarms. And just a side note, I prefer saying compy to whatever that is, Compsognathus. So we're just going to go with compy moving forward. Compy is a cunning swarmer. Swap to compy to reinforce your own flock's HP and chance to dodge. Use compy's cunning and taunting abilities to remove or reduce your opponent's positive effects. Again, we have absorb for this one. The moves are going to be Alert Swarm, which is also a passive move, Alert the Flock, also a passive move, Cunning Strike, Hop and Mock, and Alert Scurry. The first and only legendary creature is going to be Dodocevia. It is going to be a hybrid of the dodo and Inostrancevia. Don't let the lack of feathers fool you. This fearsome dodo hybrid is no plucked turkey. Its razor beak is even more adept at breaking through tough exteriors than its hybrid parent Inostrancevia saber teeth. Dodocevia is a cunning hit-and-run expert. Use Dodocevia's targeted and group distraction to reduce your opponent's damage, then hit hard with sacrifice ability if the flock has enough HP to survive it. With the ability of Absorb, again, you can only do one health meter at a time unless your opponent has group attack. You're also going to have Flightless Strike, Protective Alert, Revenge Distracting Impact, and Alert Decoy. The only unique included in this update is going to be Compsognathus. It is a hybrid between Compy and Diplocalus Gen 2. Welcome Compsognathus, Jurassic World Alive's first unique creature with non-hybrid components. Some DPG members call this flocking hybrid the Arrowhead for obvious reasons. Make sure you keep the Compsognathus in your quiver as this tiny creature is especially useful against other flocks. Compsognathus is a cunning swarmer. Swap to Compsognathus to reinforce your HP and chance to dodge, then use its targeted and group distractions to outlast opponents. Again, we have the Absorb passive ability with Swap and Distraction, Cunning Strike, Hop and Mock, Restricted Group Distraction, and Alert Scurry. And there's one final creature coming to version 2.7, and it is an Apex. It is Refernatum. I hope that I'm saying that one right. This Apex Dilophosaur is a tricky competitor. Catch it hiding in the weeds to distract its prey, then moving in for the attack at the moment their enemy is weakest. Refernatum is a cunning distraction expert. Swap into this creature to trigger its passive distraction, then use its multiple targeted distraction, group nullifying, and critical chance reduction abilities to render your opponents powerless. The moves are going to be Alert Counter Distraction, Swap in Distraction, which is a passive move whenever you swap in, Cunning Strike, Alert Nullification, Cunning Rampage, and Super Distraction. Needless to say, that is going to be doing a lot of distracting. There were several new abilities mentioned in all of those descriptions, and so let's touch on a few of those. Flock creatures have come with a new ability set, Alert abilities. Alert abilities have different effects based on the flock's total remaining HP, which we represent in how many flock members are still fighting. For instance, if the flock has 3 out of 3 members still fighting, its alert ability will be the secure state. If the flock dips to 2 or 1 members, the alert ability threatened state will trigger. Remember, some other creatures now have alert abilities too, with a threshold in their total HP deciding between secure and threatened states. Honestly, these moves are going to take a little bit of time to get used to because depending on how much HP you have or how many flock members you still have available is going to determine which one of your moves is active. We're going to have 3 new raid bosses, Owen's Alpha Raptor Blue. That's a lot to say, Owen's Alpha Raptor Blue. Anyways, it will replace Woolly Mammoth as a raid boss starting May 11th. Meolania is going to be the second rare raid boss in Jurassic World Alive and will be introduced to raids on May 19th. The Apex Dilophosaur Refernatum will also enter the fray as a boss starting May 28th. This will be Jurassic World Live's first Friday raid. So none of the other Apex bosses are going away. We're just adding one on Friday. Additionally, the level of Smile Enemies raid boss has been reduced from 24 down to 22 to make it a little bit easier for you guys to take out that raid boss. Looks like we're going to have 10 new achievements. Epic Generosity, donate 3,000 Epic DNA. Epic Gratitude, receive 200 Epic DNA donations. Exploring West, evolve Stegosaurus to level 15. Exploring Europe, evolve Struthamimus to level 15. Exploring East, evolve Rinchinia to level 15. Those are the continental exclusives, so probably gonna have to use FIPs in order to get those leveled up. Size doesn't matter. Create 4 flock creatures. Strength in numbers. Win 50 PvP battles using flock creatures. Bite-sized brute, evolve the Compy to level 15. Building courage, use the ability Courageous Alert 30 times. And finally, on point, get 30 direct hits on epic flock creatures. And there aren't many, but there are a few creature updates that we need to go over because a lot of people in the community have been upset with these creatures. First and foremost is going to be Monolometrodon. The abilities, Fierce Rampage is going to become Fierce Impact. The resistances, crit reduction is going to be from 50 to 0. Speed decrease from 100 to 75. And the reduced damage resistance is going to go from 50 down to 25. Then as far as Sarcoryxes go, the attributes that are changing are speed is going down from 117 to 113. The attack is being lowered by 200 from 1300 to 1100. The health is being increased from 4200 to 4500. And as far as resistances, the speed decrease resistance of 100% is going to drop to 75%. Now, as an op-ed here, these are probably... Maybe you can make the argument for Sarcoryxes probably maybe needed a minor nerf. These don't seem too bad, but specifically Monolometrodon, like, it didn't need it. The people, and I'm just gonna, it's already a long video, but the people complaining about Monolometrodon are the people that are trying to work their way up and past Monolometrodon. And in my opinion, every level of this game needs a gatekeeper. Monolometrodon was at. It is a creature that you're going to create and you're going to use to help you progress, but it's also going to be the creature that's holding you back until you build up a team strong enough that Monolometrodon is no longer an issue. Whenever that happens, you will start progressing higher up in this game. The people complaining are the ones who are at the stage of the game that they can't beat this yet because they're not good enough. Their team's not good enough. They haven't been playing long enough to accumulate the boosts, the DNA, to create the creatures. I've been playing since the start of the game. I by no means have the best team imaginable, and Monolometrodon is a non-issue unless I draw just a completely garbage team. There are plenty of creatures that take this out. I just hope that we don't start seeing the situation of the best creature at every level. Monolometrodon is arguably the best legendary. People complain, and then it gets nerfed, because then what they're going to do is they're going to complain about the next best one. So whatever is now going to be the best legendary, people are going to start complaining that it needs a nerf, that it's too strong. Well, the reason why it needs a nerf and it's too strong is because you complained and got the thing that was taking it out, Monolometrodon, nerfed. So let's just stop with the this is too strong, because Monolometrodon was not too strong. It was a good legendary. That is allowed. You are allowed to have legendaries that can compete with uniques and take them out. That there's nothing wrong with that. There's allowed to be some like mesh and crossover between different rarities. Sarcoryxes, everybody complains because in the Epic tournament, it was too good. It's a super hybrid. It's supposed to be the single best Epic in the game. I have no problem with it being better than all the other Epics that are not super hybrids. Gamma, which I think is really good. Sarcoryxes with boost kind of beats Gamma. I have no problem with that. It's a super hybrid versus a hybrid. Anyway, I don't want to get off on this tangent. Maybe Sarcoryxes was a little too strong, but not. it wasn't so strong that it needed to be nerfed. Really, the only place that it shines is in epic tournaments. And again, it is supposed to be the best of the best. So if it's an epic tournament and it's the best one, duh. And if it's an epic and legendary tournament and Sarcoryxes is better than a lot of the legendaries that are not super hybrids, I have no problem with that either. I will get off my soapbox now. As we move on to the unique creatures that are getting changes, we have Dracoceratops, which is among the first uniques players add to their roster. To give players newer to using uniques more chance against players that are further along, we gave Dracoceratops a minor buff. The abilities Cunning Impact becomes Cunning Rampage. The attributes, the speed of 116 moves to 119, and the resistances, it can no longer be speed decreased. And for a cunning creature, that is absolutely huge. Like I was just saying, this is an easy one to create, so it should not be amazing. How about that? It should be good, but it shouldn't be amazing. Cunning Impact becoming Cunning Rampage and not being able to slow down, and you speed it up a little bit. The good news here is it's now arguably better than the legendary version of it. People might be screaming about this. This might be a little too good. We'll have to see how it all plays out. The changes make this really good now. So potentially, and in my opinion, definitely better than the legendary. So people hate the legendary, but I think they're going to dislike the unique even more now. And the final buff or change that we have is on Skoolasaurus, which is at the bottom of the usage charts compared to other towers, Ardentys Maxima and Gemini Titan. There's two reasons for this. Well, 2.5, maybe 3. The reason is, comparatively speaking, Skoola, which is the exclusive content or exclusive creature that goes into creating this, has been out a relatively shorter amount of time from the other two. So naturally is going to, it's exclusive, it's not around as much. And another caveat to that, like the other, like 1A of that, is during the hybrid pursuit where Skoola was the creature that was supposed to be out, the coding was wrong or something, and it wasn't there pretty much all week. So that would make sense that its usage is down. The other part, number 2, is it's just garbage. Again, I'm going to go back up and just hop up on my soapbox for just a second here. But if we talk about something like Dracoceratops that is easy to create, it's one of the first ones they have to unlock, it should be significantly weaker than the Skoolasaurus. That's my opinion. The reason why nobody uses it is the components to create it and level it up are hard to come by, and second of all, it sucks. So there you go. When those two roads merge, you have a creature that doesn't get used at all. So it's going to get a little bit of a buff here. It's going to gain medium resilient counterattack. I think right now it's like minor counterattack, and it's kind of just a love tap. And now it's going to be more like a slap instead of a punch. And then it's going to gain 150 health from 5,700 to 5,850. Time will tell if that's enough to get this any usage. Again, the components are still incredibly difficult to come by. And so I would imagine that its usage is going to continue to trail that of the other two. So there you go. That felt like a lot of information, and we'll have to see how it plays out as far as, is this a massive update? You know, there's new mechanics, there's a new flock, a lot of things, a lot of moving parts here that needed to be described, probably aren't as cumbersome when you're actually playing the game. But again, I feel like there's going to be a steep learning curve on this particular update, just because these flock mechanics, and then you have the alert where you're threatened or you're secure. I think a lot of that's going to take some time to get used to. So hold off on your judgment of this update if you don't get it right away. Not if you don't get the update, but if you don't understand, or if you can't use the abilities, or if they're confusing, give it a minute, give it some time. I anticipate that a lot of people are going to be timed out in their moves because they're trying to read exactly what it is that either their creature or their opponent's creature is going to do on any particular given play. Maybe trying to do some math to see, are they going to fall in the threatened category if I attack first, or are they going to be secure, and then which attack is going to come at me based on that information. But at the end of the day, these are all just my opinions. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about 2.7? Again, my guess is on Tuesday, especially because we have something happening on the 11th, and that is less than a week away. If you've made it this far in the video and you found it useful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Go ahead ahead and subscribe so that you will get the latest information whenever 2.7 does drop. I will be creating videos covering all of this in detail where you can see it actually happening, maybe help you out a little bit with some of the ins and outs. That's all I've got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time.